Hello again everyone and welcome back to Canis River, and today we have another 1v1 to show you today. So we have a Chisato versus Alt F4 UB Veta. I'm just going to call them Alt F4 because that's just easier. So we've seen this map a few times now, and as we've always seen it, there are many start positions you can start on this map. Briefly, we saw the start boxes, but for those that aren't aware, this is the start box here. And there are quite a few different options to choose from. We've got the location which Chisato has chosen. There's also one to the right, one to the left, and then one / technically two up on the high ground. Not necessarily made for a 1v1 as such, but quite a good small team map. But it seems like a lot of players are really enjoying this map, as we've been seeing it so much. Now, both players here have chosen to go for the exact same start position. Now you might be like, why is that? Well, this start position here is kind of a very neutral start position. You've got easier back capping, that's more defendable, like obviously stuff has to get round you, or close to the geo, and you're still able to spread out. Not only that, but it gives your start position here a kind of very middle area where you can reach both of the main crossings very easily. Chisato actually already on the back foot a bit here. He's about to get surrounded by ticks. Chisato manages to micro his scouts very well though, and manages to clear up all of those ticks with not losing any economy at all, which is great. There is one tick left though, which Chisato is not aware of as of this time. Oh, now we can see it. And one interesting thing we're seeing right now is Chisato has obviously gone vehicles, but the interesting thing is F4 choosing to go bots. Now this map is very metal heavy. There's a lot of metal points up for grabs, and this does limit his choices. Now it might be because he wants to get res bots out to try and get all of these cactuses. I think that's a lot of economy to be had on the map, but he will lose out towards the mid game as the more tankier, faster units of Chisato comes out with vehicles. But we'll see what happens. Chisato may be able to grab a construction bot here if it's not paid attention to. He leaves it be. More ticks on the way out now to try and slow him down. Fires are being spreaded here. Now this is obviously not intentional, but you can obviously this destroys the economy in that area. When I say the economy, the res for like these dry bushes. Not a lot, but you know, there's 300 energy there. It's like, you know, it's 1,300 over that area. Like it's not to be sniffed at. Chisato expanded with his comm here, and that's unfortunate for Alt F4 because his plan to go and harass has kind of got cut off. Now, this is something of note. Bots can traverse up these cliffs, and as you can see here, vehicles can't. So those ticks now managing to stay alive just purely because they could run up the hill. Unfortunately, the rest of the units can't traverse quite so well. We can see the bot constructor could go up here with a bit of slowness, but not a lot. I'll be interested to see if we see a transition here from Alt F4 to vehicles at some point once the initial kind of lines have been drawn, if you know what I mean. At the moment, energy is a big issue for Alt F4 though, as he's building obviously construction turrets, use up a lot of energy, and with the wind only at 4 and also building a constructor bot, that's a lot of energy to be using right now when he doesn't really have the wind from the wind. only energy he actually has right now is from the trees. The Trico, as we call it. Fortunately, that pawn not able to do anything. And these early stages are pretty much like this all the time. You'll get some bit of back and forth going on. This is not very good here for Alt F4. Just trying to use the tick to kind of slow the incisor down, but it wasn't really enough. Pawn will manage to mop that up though. Just though, that pawn with 10% health left. And Chisato doing quite a good job at containing Alt F4 at the moment. Alt F4 not really able to push out as quick as he'd hoped. That north side has been attacked so many times now. And again, we're about to see Alt F4 pay for not building the LLT first by losing a construction bot and all of this expansion. And even then, Alt F4 choosing to not build the LLT first on this north side, even though there's a blooming tank coming right towards him. Alt F4's micro is definitely sped elsewhere, trying to get holes cleared up, but ain't gonna happen, as this one incisor is gonna manage to get 2 construction bots for 1 incisor. That is a price he is very much willing to pay. Make that 3 construction bots so far. Alt F4 real trouble here, as these units pile towards his base and he's got nothing to stop it. Desperately rushing to get the LLT up and running. Pawns do now surround the incisor. A self-destruct being attempted, but they both get blown up before then. So if you don't know, a self-destruct will leave 0 Rex behind, meaning that he's not going to leave this 70 metal here for Alt F4 to just either resurrect or, you know, reclaim. These LLTs just getting absolutely annihilated by the incisors here. All of the expansion that Alt F4 keeps getting out is getting absolutely taken away from him. And Alt F4 right now really starved for metal. Currently, looking at the stats here, we can see that metals per second, it's 106% advantage towards Chisato at the moment, which is a lot. Alt F4 definitely falling behind here. And as we've got Alt F4 selected, you can see he's really low on energy right now. Really struggling. He lost a lot of his windmills. And attacks just coming from everywhere. Alt F4 not paying attention, moving all those forces away. And this may be yet another construction vehicle killed. Oof. Luckily enough, the Resbots take a couple of shots before they die. Not going to resurrect that, apparently. Wanted to get the metal extractors first. That's a very wise thing to do. Chisato's small raids here are doing a tremendous amount of work on Alt F4. He's desperately trying to use his micro here to move around and kind of stop these attacks, but he's constantly on the defensive, constantly having to micro units around to defend, whereas Chisato is just sending like a single 1 round in the hope that he, you know, finds something. And some point soon, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a switch over to brutes from Chisato. Again, this single incisor just left roaming around the base. There's going to be even more energy issues. Some great D-guns though down here from Alt F4. Takes some health damage there in order to do it, but he's trying to make a hole for his attack here. He's trying to change the pace, put it into his favor, but Alt F4 really low on energy. Any of those LLTs he does have aren't going to fire effectively. Oh, surprising self-destruct on those incisors there. One of them, nope, they all get blown up before the self-destruct goes off. And Alt F4 is trying to get back in the game here. He is still behind on, well, anything economy-wise except build power. He has a lot of build power, and his army value is currently ahead of Chisato. Bear in mind that, you know, bots can build quicker than vehicles, so you can amass a larger quantity in a short period of time. Maybe that's his plan. He's kind of go for an overwhelm the enemy rather than anything else. Now, we'll see how that plays out for him. At the moment, it hasn't been playing out too well. Yeah. A leak does manage to get through. How much damage is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Is this going to cause? Unfortunately, Alt F4 not really paying attention and doesn't get as much from that as he could have. Very good radar there at the front, which now gets taken out. What has that done for radar, the vision for Chisato? Oh, so many LLTs. All of the pawns are going to get absolutely annihilated by all of those LLTs. And the same again on this bottom side. Chisato actually moving most of his forces to the north, has left a bit of a hole on the south, and Alt F4 now trying to actually put the game into his favor and try and turn the tide a little bit and get Chisato on the defensive for a change. Still only seeing incisors coming out here. Everything is pouring down the bottom now though for Chisato, and meanwhile Alt F4 has done a good job at building some defenses along the top line here. Plenty of defensive units as well. And we're seeing a transition over to maces and a vehicle factory and an air factory. Is he going to reclaim a bot lab? I would have thought so, but apparently not. Currently reclaiming the solar, so we can get the metal back from that. And there we go. See stouts coming out for Alt F4 and a reclaiming of the factory there, so we'll get a dump of metal soon. Although this transition may have unfortunately been badly timed, as this huge wave of incisors are managed to pour through. Shurikens coming out from Chisato here. This is so many units that Alt F4 is just not even moving stuff away from it. Another constructor going down here. This is going to be a lot of damage inflicted to the base here. Desperately trying to pump out things. Pump out more stouts. Trying to get some LLTs built to defend. Fortunately enough, the stouts are enough to force Chisato to go a different direction. Mainly because of this at the north. Chisato coming in with the shurikens here and going to completely immobilize Alt F4's army. And this will cause some havoc now, as this whole north side where his commander is pretty exposed. Also though, this army here, the stouts did not follow, and that's going to be even more economy damage done to Alt F4 as he's unable to defend his back line. And that's a lot of shurikens. What was... He must have seen the air lab earlier on from Chisato for him to know he needs to build some fighters. So many shurikens. Alt F4 now using his comm, deguns 2 incisors, and he's going to let the others walk away, it seems. Enough fighters out to make shurikens a bit less of a problem, but still losing almost all of his economy expansion, and that is not good. You can look at the difference here. We've got 100 and something ish, 100 and... when it stabilizes, give us a second. There's so much reclaim going on, it's hard to actually get an accurate, stable number. Chisato's on what? Plus 73? As opposed to the 28. Why is that? Oh, it is taking damage, but it's just been repaired at the same time. Battle of the Century. But I don't see a way for Alt F4 to bring this back. He is really struggling here to maintain any form of front line. All of his expansion is consistently get taken out. He's actually using air constructors now to be able to push out quicker. But what we are seeing is the start of Tech 2 coming out from Chisato. And you can tell the difference. Look how much Chisato's space is sprawled compared to the very compact base of Alt F4. Alt F4 does manage to clean up a little bit of the expansion on his side, though, bear in mind. And, yeah, this is not looking good at all for Alt F4. It's going to be very, very difficult for him to come back to this. Some reason Alt F4 building a radar next to his radar. Don't quite understand what's going on there. Very cheeky res spots there. So surprisingly, and this is due to the Tech 2 transition, bear in mind. Because of the Tech 2 transition, Chisato is low on units right now, as opposed to Alt F4. And as we've seen, for example, in the last game, where Barkas made the most of the Tech 2 transition time to push into the enemy base and end up winning the game. We'll see if Alt F4 is able to make the most of this, but I believe Chisato's done a good enough job at containing the enemy in order to make this not a problem. Great use of air transports here to quickly move construction turrets to reclaim everything. Don't see that very often. It's so micro-intensive that I'm surprised he feels comfortable enough that he's got the time to do that. Response is helping him get back more units. I am surprised he didn't chuck a single artillery in there just to do a bit of damage to those static defenses. But Tech 2 also now from Alt F4. I'm always surprised at how much damage these Jaguars can do. You would think versing basic tanks that they would get absolutely annihilated, but they're not bad. And here we see the first Tech 2 on the field from Chisato here. Tigers do a tremendous job at pushing through anything they basically come across. Basically just big brutes at the end of the day. Surprisingly, those resbots managing to get another tank res before all getting destroyed. There's some friendly mines going off there. Yes. Well, that's unfortunate. Interestingly, what's the plan here? Why has he got 4 air transports? What are you scheming, Alt F4? Oh, this is not a good play here by Alt F4. Throwing most of his army on that south side away here. Trying to find a hole, but unfortunately leaves himself with only 4 Jaguars left. That was expensive. Oh, he's going to airdrop bulls? Really? Where? Just one bull. And... oh, manages to land the bull. Is he actually going to be able to get any decent economy damage with that single bull though? And it's just probably going to get shuriken now. Gets an energy storage. Might better pull that trick again. Bull's just absolutely decimating these windmills. But he's going to get surrounded quickly. He's not going to be able to self-destruct this in time. He does manage to get a single construction turret. Get some wind damage. All in all, not really a big deal. But could argue here that it delayed this front line a little bit and helped get some breathing room on this north side. And we see Ultiform actually managing to push through a little bit. It's not going to last for much longer though, as all the reinforcements arrive. It's going to put Ultiform back on the back foot again, as we see in the numbers in the top right hand corner. Chisato ahead on everything. There is a reason why he won the last tournament. Chisato, a very, very good 1v1 player. And actually liked this map quite a lot when we were watching him playing the last tournament. Ultifor again letting a whole leak through. Trying to pick up his bulls again for some reason. Really wanting to go for that same tactic. It's not really going to pay out for him. Huh. So I believe these the other spectators are aware that Ultifor here must be a previous Forged Alliance player then, I guess. Air transports are kind of working out in his favour here a little bit, trying to get another bull to clean up this leak, but this is 4 tigers versus a single bull, and unfortunately does not manage to kill any of them. Ultifor's commander in very, very dangerous position here. 7% health, 4%, 5%, 2%. And Ultifor goes up in smoke, giving Chisato the win. And unfortunately, Ultifor just never really able to get back in the game after that initial kind of contention. Apparently did more damage to economy than Chisato did. Well played, both players. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.